As you can see, we have slid the VFD itself back inside the enclosure. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to hit all those bolts that we took out originally to make sure we properly secure the VFD itself to the enclosure. This is to prevent the unit from sliding up and down and moving back and forth during operation or any type of vibration that might disrupt the system itself. So once we've bolted the unit in completely, first thing we want to do is, leaving that bottom circuit board exposed, we want to take this wiring harness labeled CN18, 17, and 16. This connects the bottom circuit board with the top circuit board here. So the first thing we want to do is, you can see each port has a corresponding number: 16, 17, 18, and as well as 19. So once we have this wiring harness plugged in, we made sure that CN19 is connected to this wiring harness here, because these belong on the top. We can move the circuit boards into place. Bear with me a little bit, just because I'm doing this one-handed. So it's much easier that once you have the circuit board in place where it needs to be, bolted in on all four corners. Just makes it a lot easier. I'm not bolting it in just so I could use it as an example. So what I want to do is make sure that this wiring harness, of course, comes up in between the two circuit boards here. So I'm going to properly situate everything. To make sure that we have easy access to everything that we need. So we have 3 wiring harnesses that should be sticking up right now that need to be attached in between the 2 different circuit boards. What we want to make sure we do is that we're not pinching any wires or that anything's offset prior to bolting it down. Otherwise, you're going to have to undo the bolts and go back a step. So now you have one wiring harness here for the left side of the first circuit board, one wiring harness here for the right side of the first circuit board, and then one final wiring harness that goes on the second circuit board on the left hand side. So that's CN 18, 17, and 16. We're going to clip those in the front left. So you can see each port has the corresponding numbers. So 1, 2, 3. So the first 3 are in there, right? And you can see they go down to those matching ports on the bottom there. What you want to do, like I said, it's a lot easier when you screw the circuit board in. We're going to take CN19 here, just like we had on that bottom one there. Down there, you can see CN19 down there. We're going to clip CN19 in. A little bit hard here, so just kind of bear with me. I'm going to take this little guy that goes in the back there. Make sure when you're putting them in, you hear that clip, so that you know it's secured. Again, we have CN13 one there, right? It goes right with that corresponding number on the board. Right, click that in so you hear that nice click. Right. As you can see, it gets pretty self-explanatory about what comes next. Now, if you're ever lost or you're not sure, check the side and you'll see the part number, and you can match that up with the port that it's supposed to connect to. Like I said before, it's a little bit harder doing this one-handed, so kind of bear with me. Get that in. We have this last little guy floating around, right? Like I said, you can see those little numbers. Plug them right inside there. And then that's it. So now we have the first circuit board hooked back up. See all the wiring harnesses go to their corresponding ports. This cord here, this goes to the back of the VFD. And what we'll do is we'll plug the second one in. I'm going to take the wiring harness we have here, right? And like I said, just look at the side numbers. CN1. Yeah. CN1 right there. Just going to slide that in right there. Going. Right, hear that click? We have these 2 little guys here. So just hook them in. said, bear with me, it's kind of hard just being that it's doing this one-handed. Got one. Right. Wait and get the other in. Right. Now once you got all those in, and the wiring harness is completely set, you're good to start putting the face back on.